Well, the issue of homelessness and housing insecurity in the state of Colorado and right here in Greeley is a growing issue, and one that is raising some ears and eyes around the community, and folks are wanting to talk about that and to learn more about how it is impacting our community. And here today I have a couple of folks with the city of Greeley to give us an update on what the city of Greeley is looking at and doing when it comes to homelessness and housing alternatives. And with me today I have Heather Balzer, who is the interim chief of Resiliency Office. Great to have you. And then also we have Benjamin Snow, who is with Economic Health and Housing Department. Ben, great to have you.
Glad to be here.
All right, so let's start off with, I know that there have been a few things that have already been happening kind of pre-COVID, and that kind of touches upon the whole idea of homelessness around Greeley. So Ben, can you start us off by giving us a little bit of a background about what has happened up to this point?
You bet. Yeah, thanks, Amy. We've been working on homelessness and housing issues for many years, actually. And it was in the early few months of COVID that a group of community stakeholders first got together and started brainstorming how we could do a better job and maybe bring more resources together and work more in concert. And so a lot of the community got together, and we started meeting once a month. This is back in the summer of 2020. And amongst those meetings, we did a field trip. And our field trip took us down to Denver. And Denver has a very notable project called Arroyo Village, where the homeless function and sheltering function and affordable housing is all put together on one single campus. So we were intrigued by that idea. And so we met once a month and started looking at all the different assets we have, not just the physical assets, but all the organizations that the city partners with. And to make a longer story much shorter, it led us to last summer, where we decided we needed to go ahead and get some more professional consultative help. And so we put an RFP out there, and we were...
Request for proposal, just want to make sure.
Request for proposal.
Make sure people know what an RFP is.
Absolutely. So the city put that out, and we got a really, really strong response from one of the consultants who actually worked on the Arroyo Village campus. And so we felt very, very comfortable moving forward with this group. Shortly thereafter, we brought on Heather to help us sort of be the quarterback for this project. And it's kind of blossomed to the point now where we're having some really good community conversations about homelessness and affordable housing. And I think we're in a really good spot.
Yeah, we are. And Ben, thank you so much for that background, because folks may not realize that there's been so many things that have led us up to this point. It's not a surprise, if you will. And again, that the city has done things for many, many years, multiple years, to try to address the issue and the growing issue around our community. So you mentioned about the consulting group, that's Urbanity Advisors that have been hired. And so Heather, I'm going to jump over to you a little bit. And can you give us an idea of what they've been hired to do? Basically, what we're in is a kind of a scoping and assessment phase, if you will.
That's correct, right. So Urbanity Advisors is reaching out to the community, having some community conversations. We just had 2 last week in early February. And so to touch base with folks to talk about how homelessness has impacted their life and what they see, what they'd like to see 5 to 10 years from now in terms of vision to continue to address these issues. So again, we're starting to have some community conversations and also with the stakeholders who've been involved also about what the vision looks like for the city and the county and all our partners and human service providers as well. And we're going to continue to have those community conversations. So the next piece is to take that feedback along with the consultant looking at best practices in the region, understanding the demand drivers in the region, and then coming back to the community to talk about what some continual opportunities are for the community to continue to address these issues, and then come back with some specific recommendations for the council and the community. So there'll be 3 sets of community conversations. We just had our first one. There'll be 2 more. So continue to check the city website for times and locations, and we'll continue to get your feedback and share potential opportunities and approaches to how we continue to address this issue.
And something I want to make sure that we mention, and Heather, you and I have talked about this, and maybe Ben and I, a little bit, is that no decision has been made right? Ben, you mentioned about Arroyo Village down in Denver, and though that's a great program for Denver, we're really looking at what's the right fit for Greeley. And so I guess for me, I wanted to make sure that was clear to our viewers and those that are watching today that this isn't set. We're really truly having that community conversation and looking for what's right for Greeley and what people want to see.
That's right, Amy, and we really look forward to hearing from folks, and we'll also have a survey on the city website. We'll be putting that up shortly after our most recent community conversation for those questions that we asked to continue to get feedback from our community around possible opportunities to continue to address homelessness and housing issues.
Yeah, so anything else that either of you like to make sure that we touch on or let our viewers know about?
Sure. There's one other thing that you said that I think is important for everybody to understand, which is no decisions have been made. We're simply seeking to become smarter, gathering more intelligent. One of the things that's excited me about this is that Greeley's taken a very proactive approach to this. We don't want to get to the point where it becomes an untenable problem in the community, and so us getting smarter earlier in the process of where we're at right now, we think will only help us in the years ahead.
All right. Well, Heather and Ben, thank you so much for being here. Anything else you would like to add?
Nope. Please stay engaged. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you.
All right. Okay. So Ben Snow with Economic Health and Housing and Heather Balser, Interim Chief Resiliency Office. And thank you so much for both of you being here today. And for those of you who are watching, as Heather had mentioned, the website, make sure you head on over there. And again, you can watch the video recording of the in-person community conversation that happened on February 17th. And after watching that video, please take a few minutes to fill out the survey and let us know the answers to the questions there. That will help out our consultants as they continue to move forward through this process of the scoping and assessment and figuring out what's the right fit for Greeley. So again, head on over to greeleygov.com/homeless and housing services for more.